Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? This is Jeff from BKJmacTV, and this is the BKJmac Podcast Experience, and this is Season 2, Episode 10, and today's Episode 10 is very, very sad, very emotional right now, and extremely upset and very, very angry. Tonight, the city of Memphis, the police department of Memphis, released the footage of the savage and grotesque beating of Tyree Nichols by the Memphis Police Department. Now, let me tell you, I saw samples of that police footage from the body cam to the lamppost, and I was disturbed. I was petrified, and I was angry and very, very resentful. You know, how could five black men in the uniform with badges on, savagely beat up on Tyree Nichols to the point where he was taken to the hospital, and 3 days later he died from his injuries. It was disgusting. It was savage and was barbaric. They were making these cops, these 5 piece of garbage cops, were making comments and taunting Tyree Nichols as they beat on him savagely. You saw how they stood him up, and one punched him in the face, threw him down, picked him up and kicked him and punched him. It was disgusting. It was horrifying. 5 black cops, African American cops, in the uniform with badges on, doing this to a black man. And when he tried to run away to his mother's house, they followed him and they grabbed him and they continued to beat on him some more. They laid him out so badly. The man couldn't even get up. It was disgusting. It gave me, and people are comparing it to the Rodney King case. The beatdown of Rodney King in 1993. I believe it was 1991. It was 1991, I believe. When 4 to 5 white cops beat mercifully Rodney King down, threw him on the floor, beat him, stomped him, billy clubbed him, everything. And somebody who happened to be testing out their video camcorder, who he just purchased it, just started recording the whole thing. And basically caught the moment that would spark the LA race riots of 1993. These cops beat up on Rodney King in such a brutal way. It was so brutal. And those cops were acquitted. But they were later held accountable on civil rights charges. In this instance, 2023, 5 black officers savagely and disgustingly beat up on a defenseless black man. While he was crying out for his mother, Tyree Nichols was crying out for his mother, they taunted him some more. And they beat on him and beat on him and beat on him. Footage was so disturbing. There are times where I just turned my head. I was so disturbed by it, man. It was horrible. It was very, very, very horrible. I myself was almost a victim of police brutality in New York City. 2 instances where I could have been killed by the police of New York City. So when I saw that footage, it made me felt disgusted, and it gave me a sense of shock and fear, because that could have been me. I remember that could have been me. It's hard being a black man in America. It's hard because you don't know what's going to happen. You walk out of these streets, you don't know if you're going to be a victim. You know, cops pull you over, a traffic stop. A traffic stop. We're talking about a traffic stop. A traffic stop unleashed a holy hell of beatings from 5 black cops. And the reason I'm emphasizing black cops is because I'm ashamed, I am embarrassed, I am disgusted that is 5 black cops would do that to their own black citizen. These officers, these 5 black officers, are members of the community. They took a job with the city to protect and serve every member. And for that, they violated their oath. They violated their duty to the community. For what they did to Tyree Nichols was disgusting. It was god-awful. I remember when George Floyd in May of 2020 the dude had a knee on his neck while he was crying, while Mr. Floyd was crying out for his mom. He didn't even care. He had his hands in his pocket. A white cop with his knee on his neck. Didn't even care. Hands in his pocket. Didn't even care that George Floyd was suffocating. They taunted him. They did things to George Floyd until he died. We saw the protests that followed. We saw the changes that followed by white America. But let me say this. Is there enough changes? Have there been enough changes? Absolutely not. It needs to be more changes. It needs to be more changes, particularly for the black community. Because black folks, particularly black males, do not feel safe. Who can we call on? Who could we call on for help when there are cops who look like us, that wear badges that's supposed to protect us, ends up beating us in such savage depiction? I am angry. I am disgusted. I am ashamed at those 5 black men who are now fired from the Memphis Police Department, and they have been indicted for 2nd-degree murder and kidnapping. I hope the prosecutor's office in Memphis is able to get a guilty plea on all 5 individuals and send them to prison for the rest of their miserable lives. Because what they did was disgusting, was brutal, and it was sick. And the city is at fault because they hired these officers to so-called protect the community. They didn't protect the community. They damaged the community. They devastated the community. It was horrible. It was disgusting. It was pathetic. It was grotesque. And these 5 black former officers of the Memphis Police Department will be held accountable at the court of law. They'll be held accountable in the court of law. And I feel so sorry for Miss Tyree Nichols' mother, who has to now bury her son. The family has to mourn over him. 29 years old, his life is over. They have to bury their son now. Because why? Because 5 black former officers decided to violate the trust of the community they were meant to serve. And it's disgusting how they violated that trust. The city is responsible. The state of Tennessee is responsible for these 5 black officers that committed this grisly act. It was disgusting. It was horrible. And I'm glad they moved to swiftly indicted them and hold them accountable. Let's get this case over with and lock them up. horrible. Such horrible. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode. This was the most emotional, most intense episode that I've done. God rest Tyree Nichols' soul. I'm praying for the brother in heaven, because there's no way he should have gone through that. No way whatsoever. And I hope his mom's holds the city of Memphis fully accountable for what they did in hiring these disgusting officers. And I hope the prosecution office is able to get a guilty conviction on all 5 of these former officers. We need to do better as a society. We need to do better. We definitely need to do better, because honestly, truth be told, there are members of law enforcement that don't deserve to have the badge on their chests. Because when they wear their badge, they feel like they can get away with anything. And it cannot be. White or black or Asian or Latino, man or woman, officers need to be held accountable for egregious actions against their communities that they serve and protect. I stand by that. In Washington, D.C., lawmakers, I need you to get laws that holds them accountable. Thank you for listening to this episode. Peace, love, always. And God bless the soul of Tyree Nichols. May God rest his soul. Thank you.